The story begins on a cold October night in rural Japan, where an additional late-night train quietly appears on line Hachinohian, unregistered, undocumented route, known only by a rumored number, Train 88. Most passengers assume it is just a seasonal extra service, added during festival months to handle crowds. But on this particular night, the platforms are empty. There are no festivals, and the train does not appear on any digital schedule boards. When the train arrives, it emits no announcement, no automated voice, no conductor greeting, only a soft hiss of brakes and a single dim headlight that flickers as if struggling to stay alive. The metal exterior looks older than any functioning train should beats, silver paint chipped, its roof dented, its windows tinted yellow like aging glass. Still, for passengers step inside, believing it to be nothing more than a rare, older model still in rotation. The first is Haruto, a quiet office worker in his late 30s who has been returning home late from Tokyo for the past month. He is exhausted, stressed, and barely paying attention. The second is Aiko, a university student who missed her previous train due to staying late at the library. The third is Sato, a retired math teacher carrying a small bag of groceries. And the fourth is a middle-aged businessman named Nishimura, who looks anxiously around the empty platform before boarding, as if someone or something was following him. Once inside, all four passengers notice the same strange detail. The interior is spotless, unnaturally spotless. Seats that look brand new, yet outdated in their design. A faint scent of incense lingering in the air, too deliberate to be accidental. And a strange, warm light that illuminates the entire cabin evenly, without any visible bulbs. For the first 10 minutes, the ride is silent. No announcements, no rattling tracks, no hum of electricity. Just a smooth glide through darkness. Outside the windows, there are no passing lights, no signs, no stations, only an endless stretch of thick fog. At exactly 11:33 p.m., the train slows down, despite no station being listed on Haruto's phone map. The passengers exchange confused glances, but the doors slide open with a soft chime, and outside, instead of a platform, they see a narrow path leading into what looks like an old-fashioned village swallowed by mist. Unlike modern Japanese towns, which glow with neon and LED streetlights, this village is dim, lit only by paper lanterns swinging gently under the weight of humid night air. The houses are made of wood and clay. The roads are dirt, uneven and untouched by asphalt. And the people, if they are people, walk slowly, quietly, dressed in clothing from decades past. Long coats, straw hats, kimonos faded with age. Aiko, curious and unafraid, steps out first. "Is this a festival village?" she asks aloud, though no one responds. Haruto follows reluctantly, then Sato, then Nishimura, whose hands tremble as he steps onto the ground, as though he recognizes something he refuses to remember. The moment all four passengers leave the cabin, the train doors close behind them with an abrupt hiss. None of them turn back in time to see it, but the train number stenciled faintly near the door flickers between 88 and a blank, unreadable panel. As they walk through the village, the fog seems to follow them. Lantern lights dim whenever they pass, and every villager turns their heads slowly to stare. No one speaks, no one smiles. Their eyes look sunken, tired, and reflective like mirrors that have seen too much. Sato, the retired teacher, approaches one of them. "Excuse me," he says politely. "What town is this?" The villager simply raises one arm and points toward a wooden building at the far end of the street, a small train office, with an old timetable nailed to its wall, and then he walks away, disappearing into the mist. Inside the office, the four passengers gather around the timetable. At first glance, the list seems ordinary: arrival times, departure times, station names, but as Haruto looks closer, he realizes that the dates on the paper are decades old. The most recent date printed is from 1962. Aiko laughs nervously. "This must be a preserved heritage village," she says. "Like those tourism spots that recreate the past." But Nishimura shakes his head. No, this place shouldn't exist." His voice trembles. "My grandfather told me stories about a fog village from the old train lines. He said it only appears to people after they've been chosen." "Chosen for what?" Haruto asks. "To die," Nishimura whispers. Before anyone can respond, a loud horn echoes through the village, a long, mournful sound, unlike any modern train horn. The ground vibrates softly under their feet, and from the darkness beyond the tracks, something massive begins to emerge. Its headlight cutting through the fog in slow, deliberate pulses. It is another train, but this one is not like Train 88. It is older, far older, and its exterior is covered with rust and long cracks. Wooden panels reinforce its metal frame, and its windows are sealed shut. Instead of modern LED signs, the front displays a painted symbol of a white circle with two horizontal strokes, an emblem none of them recognize. As the train stops in front of them, the doors creak open manually, as though pushed by invisible hands. Inside, rows of empty seats stretch into darkness. No conductor, no driver, no passengers, only silence and dust. A small child's voice suddenly echoes behind them. "This is the second train," it says. The group spins around, but there is no child, only a tiny shadow standing underneath a lantern, staring at them with hollow eyes. Haruto steps back. Aiko grabs his arm. Sato mutters a prayer under his breath, but Nishimura falls to his knees, horror washing over his face. "My grandfather said there are always two trains," he says. "The first one is the one that brings you here. The second one is the one that takes you away." Sato asks, "Away where?" Nishimura does not answer. Instead, he whispers something even more terrifying. "They say the second train only comes for people who have exactly 7 days left to live." Silence falls over the group. Haruto's breathing becomes shallow. Isio's hands tremble. Sato clutches his grocery bag as though it can protect him, and Nishimura stares at the ground, refusing to look at the train in front of them. Then, the small shadow under the lantern speaks again. "You boarded Train 88 tonight because you were supposed to." Its voice is cold, ageless. "You must choose. If you get on the second train now, your name will be recorded, and you'll be taken peacefully. If you run, the fog will follow you, and take you by force." Aiko shakes her head violently. "No, this is a nightmare. This can't be real." She takes a step back, but the fog behind her thickens, forming a wall. Sato drops his groceries. They spill across the dirt road, apples rolling into the mist. "I just came from buying dinner," he says. I'm healthy. I don't feel sick." "Why me?" Nishimura looks at him sadly. "The train doesn't choose based on health, it chooses based on fate." Haruto clenches his fists. "No, I refuse this. I don't accept this fate." But as he steps forward, the ground beneath him softens as though it is turning into mud. The fog curls around his legs like fingers. Aiko screams. Sato begins to cry. And Nishimura closes his eyes, whispering, "I'm sorry." The shadow child raises one hand. A lantern flickers violently across the street, and from the second train, a soft, rhythmic tapping begins, like dozens of hands knocking gently on the windows from the inside. But the windows are sealed shut. Then the knocking grows louder, 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 until the entire train shakes, as though something inside is desperate to break out. The fog pulls tighter around the passengers. Aiko falls to her knees. Haruto desperately tries to step back but cannot move. Sato mutters rapid prayers, tears streaming down his face, and Nishimura decides. He stands up slowly and walks toward the open door of the second train. The moment his foot touches the step, the knocking stops. Complete silence takes over the village, and the lanterns brighten slightly, as if approving. Nishimura turns to the others and gives a sad, broken smile. "I don't want to be chased," he says. "If I must go, I'll go calmly." 10 seconds later, the train disappears into the fog without making a single sound. Haruto, Aiko, and Sato stand frozen, unable to process what they just witnessed. But before they can move, the shadow child speaks once more. The fog swirls violently, and the ground beneath them cracks open with a deafening snap. The lanterns extinguish one by one, and the entire village dissolves into blinding white light. When the light fades, Haruto, Aiko, and Sato find themselves back inside Train 88, alone. The train is moving again, and outside the windows, the modern world slowly returns. City lights, traffic, normal stations. The display screen now shows a destination. Final stop, 7 days remaining. Haruto checks his phone. Aiko checks her watch. Sato clutches his grocery bag again. Not even 1 minute had passed. The train slows down and arrives at their original station. The doors open as if nothing happened. No one believes them. No one saw the train. No one else boarded it. But every night thereafter, at exactly 11:33 p.m., each of them hears a faint train horn in the distance. A horn that seems to be calling their name.